Good day. This is my living room. There's my passed out pups again. Here's my cards. Darn it. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nclb, and today I would like to discuss a topic with you that is very dear to all of us. Our children's education and how the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001 impacts this. The Nclb was enacted by the federal government in an effort to standardize the public schools of all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Its purpose is to ensure that each child receives a fair and equal opportunity for an education. They measure this by administering a high-stakes standardized test once a year to each student in 3rd to 12th grade. These tests only cover the subjects of math, science, and writing. This act is a miserable failure and causes many problems within our schools. Diane Rovich, 2009, states that the Nclb overemphasizes these three subjects to the exclusion of all others. It causes stress in faculty, teachers, parents, and most importantly, the children who have to take these high-stakes tests. It's past time that we said no to the Nclb and got this act repealed. First, I would like to discuss how these three tested subjects impact other classes within the school. The Nclb calls this class hijacking. This is where non-tested classes are usurped to teach tested subjects. For example, my daughter attended Northside Middle School in Warner Robins, Georgia. In her physical education class, she had to turn in a one-page written essay each week as 50% of her total grade. This may not seem like a big deal, but remember, this creates even more work for both the teachers and the students as they double up on classes in an effort to pass these high-stakes tests. In Ohio, some schools are decreasing the class time for subjects such as art, history, music, and geography, or even dropping them altogether. CSPO in 2008 states they are doing this so they can increase the class time of, you guessed it, math, science, and writing. They're doing this to get our children to pass these high-stakes tests. But are these tests really useful? No, they're not. Our children are being taught to the tests, and at the same time, the states are lowering the definition of proficiency for these tests. Essentially, they're dumbing down the test so that the schools can report that they made annual yearly progress to the federal government. This is so they can avoid sanctions by the federal government, such as the withholding of funds or even replacing teachers and faculty at schools that fail to meet AYP. Essentially, the federal government is using fear, intimidation, and punishment to force our children into an ever narrower curriculum of study. All this leads our children to receiving a less well-rounded education. By doing this, we are setting our children up for failure as adults. Sure, they may be able to pass these standardized tests, but are they really learning critical skills for success, such as creativity and problem solving? No, they're not. What they are learning is that you need to cheat and skew results in your favor in order to get ahead in life. Next, I would like to discuss the undue stress that the Nclb causes. Our children should not be subjected to the kinds of intense stress that these high-stakes tests place on them. They experience stress over studying for these tests. They experience stress over being told that these high-stakes tests dramatically impact their school's funding and their own life choices. They experience test anxiety over the length of these tests and extended testing periods. Mr. Smith, 2008, states that this testing anxiety can manifest in physical, mental, and psychological ways. Feeling physically ill, depressed, anxious, angry, or acting out in disruptive or harmful fashions are simply a few facts of these. My daughter has these tests for 3 days before her finals at the end of this school year. So this means that for 7 hours a day, for 5 days straight, she's doing nothing but testing. She's already anxious and upset about this, and these tests are still 2 months away. Teachers and faculty experience just as much stress and anxiety as the students do. They are not allowed to teach their classes in any meaningful way. They have to teach to a test, and they resent the fact that the federal government not only tells them what to teach, but how to teach as well. Mrs. Hoffman, a middle school teacher in Washington, D.C., 2011, states that she feels like her hands are tied when it comes to teaching her class. She's not allowed to be creative in teaching her class simply because there is no time. She has to cram as much of this test into her students as she can before test day. She is but one of many teachers and faculty members who are having second thoughts about remaining in the teaching profession. With the possibility of losing their jobs if their schools do not meet AYP, it's no wonder that many teaching professionals are leaving the academic world and entering the business sector. This in turn creates an even greater shortage of qualified teachers within our schools, thereby increasing class size and decreasing individual attention to students. Finally, parents receive even more stress in their already hectic lives. Many parents feel helpless as they watch their children struggle with these unreasonable demands and their schools fail to meet these unrealistic goals. In conclusion, the Nclb causes more problems than it is supposed to fix. It reduces the capability of our public schools to teach anything but a test. It causes our children, parents, teachers, and faculty to experience even more stress in an already complicated world. And these problems are just the tip of the iceberg. I wish that I had more time to speak with you at length upon these matters, but perform a search for yourself on the internet. You will find many articles and websites pertaining to the downfalls of the Nclb. It's time that we all get involved and take action for our children's future. We need to demand that our public officials get this heinous act repealed. Take a look for yourself, and you will find who is being left behind. Thank you.